What's up, Ben? How you doing, man?
All right, how are you?
All good, all good. Listen, the Premier League top goal scorer race, it has been blown wide open last weekend. Obviously, we've had Harry Kane getting injured, Mo Salah going on to score 4 goals against Watford. This is how it currently looks, Ben, the top goal scorer. I mean, there are only 3 guys in it, right? There's Mo Salah, 28 goals, Harry Kane, 24 goals, and Aguero, he's already 7 goals behind Salah, and he's a bit injured. I think we can almost... Well, let me ask you, do you think we can rule Aguero out of this race?
No, I don't think you can rule Aguero, and I don't think you can rule Kane out. Obviously, what Salah's done is nothing short of incredible. I don't think we've never seen a debut season like this in the Premier League. I'm not sure we will again. Big question marks whether if Salah can do it again, but that's not the question here.
Yeah.
And I don't think this race is over. I think a lot of people do. I think the bookies do, because they've made Salah the clear favourite now. But there's historical precedent to back Harry Kane, number one. And
Wait,
also,
before we get to Kane,
Aguero
I want to get to this Aguero. I think Aguero is gone. I mean, he's a little bit injured. He's like not sure to play in
Argentina, Italy game?
Yeah, he's not so sure to play.
Okay.
He's with the squad, but he's a little bit injured. They've obviously got Gabriel Jesus, who's also back, so he's actually got someone vying for his position. And so this is why I'm struggling to see it.
Well, I just think he plays for an explosive team.
Yeah.
They've only got 2 strikers, so he's got to play quite a bit. And he will play quite a bit. There's still big games coming up, which they haven't quite won the league. So they've got United, which is he'll probably start up front in that. They've also got Everton away, which is after the international break, which is also a big game.
Yeah. And he recently scored at Hatfield, right?
And I think he'll also want to play if he's getting... I think it's an award that he'd like to win. I think the fact that Kane's monopolised it over the last 2 seasons is a problem for... Not a problem for him, but I think he would like to win it. And I think he's in a team, even if it's a reserve team, that creates a lot of chances. And we saw how many he scored 4 goals against Leicester, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can do it in a game.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing with Salah. He's obviously taken a huge step to winning it, but has he won it? I'm not 100% sure if he's won it.
Let's look at these numbers again. I mean, again, Salah, he obviously broke away from Harry Kane last weekend against Watford with that 4 goals. It was unbelievable. Harry Kane, Ben, he's injured. You're our Spurs fan. When do you think Harry Kane is going to be back in action?
Well, Poch didn't rule him out of the Chelsea game, which was on April the 1st. I think we can rule him out of that one. I think maybe for the purposes of this discussion, I think he'll probably be aiming for the semi-final, which is on the 21st. But he could make it back for the Stoke game. Now, if he makes it back for the Stoke game, which is the second game in April for Spurs, then I really wouldn't rule him out. I think one thing that has to be said here is Kane did an injury, got the same injury last season against Millwall in the FA Cup. It was a year and 1 day to the day where he did it this season at Bournemouth. He then moved out 10-1 on the odds to come top goal scorer, and then scored 7 goals in the final week of the season.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And the final week of this season is also turning out to be very similar for Spurs. I think it's Newcastle home, Brighton away in the final week of the season. Now, whatever happens with Spurs, you imagine Kane will go for it.
Yes.
Now, in those Leicester and Hull games, he went crazy. He didn't pass, basically. He only shot. At least in the Hull game, it became obvious that he'd won it, so he did start passing. In the Leicester game, I think he didn't. I mean, anyway, he has 5 shots a game on average, as it stands. Spurs have proved that they create and score goals without him. So if he plays, I think he's got a real chance of overtaking Salah. And I think one of the things we've got to add into the Salah equation is he's got 1 game less in the Premier League.
Yes. And
we also now think he'll be rested, because they've got Everton in between the City game. They've got another game. They've got Palace away before
when we come back out of the international break.
So will Salah get all his minutes? When the problem for Kane is whether Kane will actually come back on time. Because if he comes back towards the end of April, then it's done and dusted. But I don't think Salah's as nailed on as the bookies do, and a lot of other people think he is.
The bookies have it like crystal. I mean, they've really made their decisions on this. Salah, they have at 1-7, and Kane right now is 7-1.
But like I said, Kane was 10-1 at this stage last season.
Yeah.
So you could win big if Kane literally copies his form from last season, and the fixtures look like he will, because Spurs have only got. It's basically Chelsea away. No, Spurs, a tough game.
You've got Spurs. Have got Stoke, Brighton, Watford, Newcastle, West Brom.
And Leicester, I don't think they have that. And he scores more against Leicester than anybody else.
Right.
Stoke, they won 3-4-0 in a row. It's entirely possible that he does go on a scoring run at the end. Whether it will be enough to catch Salah, who is going to be the all-time fantasy Premier League top goal scorer. He's going to be the all-time Premier League debutant goal scorer. So he's got a lot going for him.
Yeah.
But maybe if they continue in the Champions League, there's another reason why Salah might not play every game.
Listen, we still think this one's up for grabs. The Premier League top goal scorer. Let us know below in the comments. Who do you think is going to win it? Later.